Most people know Leon Thomas as Andre, the smooth-talking, piano-playing best friend from Nickelodeon's Victorious. If you were a kid in the early 2010s, you probably remember him strumming the guitar, singing duets with Tori, or delivering one of those classic sitcom one-liners that got the laugh track rolling. But what almost nobody knows is that Leon Thomas has a Grammy sitting on his shelf. That's right, a Grammy, the same golden statue that represents the pinnacle of recognition in music. And here's the kicker, he didn't win it as some throwaway kids TV star trying to make music, he earned it the hard way, behind the scenes, working with some of the greatest names in the industry. And the question is, how did he do it? Because let's be real, when we think of Nickelodeon stars, we don't think of Grammy winners, we think of typecasting, short-lived careers, and in many cases, the tragic side effect of child fame. Hollywood has a way of chewing up kids and spitting them out, leaving them as nothing more than nostalgia. But Leon Thomas broke the cycle. He reinvented himself in a way almost nobody expected. So how did a former Nickelodeon star break free from the child star curse and climb his way to the top of the music world? That's the story we're about to tell. Leon Thomas's career didn't start with Victorious, but that's where most people first noticed him. The show was designed to be Nickelodeon's answer to High School Musical and Glee. Bright colors, music everywhere, teenagers who could sing better than half the adults on the radio. And Leon? He was the musician of the group. His character, Andre Harris, wasn't just comic relief. He was the creative engine, writing songs, playing instruments, always pushing Tori to believe in herself. To fans, Leon was the real deal. You could tell he wasn't just acting. He could actually sing. He could actually play. Unlike a lot of his castmates, Leon wasn't faking it. He was a musician in real life. But here's the thing. Nickelodeon is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it gives you exposure that millions would kill for. On the other, it puts you in a box so tight, most people never escape it. Think about it. When you hear the name Nickelodeon star, what comes to mind? Probably not Grammy-winning producer, more like washed up, forgotten, or struggling. And the sad truth is, that's the fate of most child stars. So even though Leon had talent, he was stuck in the same box as everyone else. People saw him as a Nick kid, not a serious artist. And the industry, it doesn't take Nick kids seriously. That's where the tension begins. When Victorious ended in 2013, the cast scattered. Some, like Ariana Grande, skyrocketed to superstardom. Others faded into obscurity. Leon? He was caught in the middle. He tried putting out his own music, an EP here, a single there, but the problem was perception. No matter what he released, people couldn't separate Leon Thomas the artist from Andre Harris the Nickelodeon character. And that's the curse of being a child star. You're frozen in time, forever remembered as who you were, not who you are. For Leon, it was frustrating. Here he was, an insanely talented musician, songwriter, and producer, yet no one wanted to give him a chance. To the world, he was just another Nickelodeon alumni trying to make it in music. And let's be honest, the odds weren't in his favor. For every Ariana Grande, there are dozens of Leon Thomases who get stuck, unable to break through the noise. This was the low point, the moment where his career could have stalled out completely. But instead of fighting to be recognized in front of the camera, Leon made a different move, a smarter move. Leon realized something crucial. If the world wouldn't take him seriously as a face, maybe it would respect him as a pen. So he shifted gears. He leaned into songwriting and producing, the kind of work that doesn't require fame, just raw talent. And it worked. Quietly, behind the scenes, Leon started working with big names, artists who didn't care that he was once a Nickelodeon sitcom. They cared that he could write, arrange, and produce at an elite level. This was Leon's second act, but unlike the first, it wasn't about the spotlight. It was about credibility. He co-wrote and produced songs for Ariana Grande, Drake, Ty Dolla $ign, Post Malone, names that dominate charts. But still, hardly anyone knew. If you weren't reading the fine print of album credits, you'd never realize Leon Thomas was behind some of the songs you had on repeat. The pieces were all there. The talent, the credits, the hustle. All he needed now was the moment that would finally put his name in the spotlight. Then, in 2018, it happened. Leon Thomas, the former Nickelodeon star everyone had written off, won a Grammy for Best R&B Album. Not as a solo act, not as the face on the cover, but as a co-writer and producer on H.E.R's self-titled album. Look, technically it wasn't his album, but still, a Grammy's a Grammy, and that moment changed everything. Just a few years earlier, people couldn't take him seriously. He was the guy from Victorious, and now he was officially recognized as one of the best in the business. That Grammy wasn't just an award, it was validation, proof that Leon Thomas had broken free from the Nickelodeon box, that he could stand shoulder to shoulder with the very artists he once looked up to. From there, the respect only grew. His name in the credits became a stamp of quality. Artists saw him out for his sound, soulful, textured, mature. For most child stars, that would have been the perfect ending, but for Leon Thomas, that was just the start of something new. After years of crafting hits for other people, Leon finally turned the spotlight back on himself. He started releasing his own music again, but this time, it wasn't about proving anything. It was about expression, about building a sound that was authentically him. In 2022, he dropped Mutt, a project that instantly stood out. The title itself was symbolic. Mutt, meaning mixed breed, a reflection of Leon's musical DNA. He blended R&B, soul, funk, and even touches of rock into something that didn't sound like anyone else. Songs like Love Jones and Lucid Dreams reminded people that his voice wasn't just made for background harmonies. It could carry a song, tell a story, and pull emotion straight out of you. Then came Catch a Stray, a track that perfectly captured everything Leon had become. Confident, sharp, musically fearless. It's got that bounce, that edge, that sense of someone who's been through it all and come out stronger. For fans, it was one of those songs that just felt right. And that's the beauty of Leon's story. He didn't rush his return. He took the time to grow, to learn, and to build something that would last. His solo music isn't a rebrand, it's a rebirth. Every note, every lyric, every production choice feels intentional. Like he's finally telling the story he always wanted to tell, but on his own terms. Leon Thomas's story could have ended with nostalgia, another "Remember him?" headline from the early 2010s, but it didn't. Instead, he flipped the narrative. He turned typecasting into triumph, rejection into reinvention, and background work into the foundation for his own artistry. He didn't just survive the child star curse, he mastered it. Leon Thomas went from Nickelodeon prodigy to Grammy-winning producer to a respected solo artist with his own unique sound. And that's the full circle moment. Leon Thomas went from sitcom star to Grammy winner. And in doing so, he showed the world that sometimes the greatest success comes not from the spotlight, but from the shadows.